मेरी नवाए शौक से शोर हरी में ज़ात में गुलगुला हाय अल्लमा गुदगदे सिफात में पूरो फरिश्ता है असीर मेरे तखय्युलात में मेरी निगाह से खलल तेरी तजल्लियात में गर्चे है मेरी जुस्तजू दैरो हरम की नक्शबंद मेरी फुगां से रुस्तखेज काबा व सोमनाथ में.
I think Iqbal, there was a lot of disservice done to Iqbal when he was made a political symbol for the state of Pakistan or the establishment of Pakistan, I would say.
Iqbal is a poet who is very strongly embedded in the Indo-Persian tradition, and to weed out or cut out either of the two formative influences on his poetic career would be an injustice to Iqbal.
That has happened because Pakistani media and Pakistani establishment and the state of Pakistan used Iqbal to a certain purpose, and that was to have a national poet, as it were, and that national poet came up with the idea of creating a state.
And he's too fine and too complex a poet to be simplified in the way many of his admirers have done for their own political motivation. I mean, they would have liked somebody to be able to say the nice things, and what better than you pick up Kulliyat Iqbal and you find the kind of verse which would suit your line of thinking. Unfortunately, Iqbal is open to that kind of abuse more so than say Ghalib or Mir, or for that matter Faiz or Rashid. But it is the company of these poetic spirits that Iqbal belongs to, not some of the unfortunate politicians who are seen to be his progeny. No way.
Left-inclined governments, they presented a slightly left-oriented Iqbal. When there were Islamic regimes, they presented a more Islamized version of Iqbal, but they were doing their best to promote Iqbal. The ones who have actually failed are our writers, our so-called intellectuals.
If you see Iqbal in phases, I mean, there's a very Indian nationalist phase which Iqbal went through in his early years, and you would find in Bange Dira, his first Urdu collection, you would find a lot of patriotic poems about India, India at large, and you would find Hindustani Bachon Ka Qaumi Geet, where he eulogizes Nanak and Khaja Moinuddin Chishti and Baba Guru Nanak in the same vein, and he would also write about, you know, the famous Tarana-e-Hindi, which is still sung in schools in India. Sare Jahan se Acha Hindustan Hamara, and you know, so that was his first phase.
And the ones who have really taken the message of Iqbal to the masses, the true message of Iqbal, are all our popular artists. Masroor Anwar, Kaleem Usmani, Jamiluddin Ali, our national songs, Ye Watan Tumhara Hai, Tum Ho Pasma Iske. This is Iqbal, and it's written by a filmy songwriter, Kaleem Usmani, because the same song, which is a love song, can be addressed to Pakistan.
There is Iqbal the thinker, or Iqbal as the philosopher, philosophical person within quotes, and Iqbal who's the poet for the politician, or politician's poet, or Iqbal who is for the very religious-minded people, or people for whom Iqbal is primarily Shair-e-Mashriq, or more of the Mashriq than of the Shair, or an Iqbal who is the Hakimul Ummat.
And then in the same book, you would see him becoming a more of a Indian Muslim. Diya Iqbal ne Hindi Musalmanon ko soz apna, वो एक मर्दे तनासा था, तनासानों के काम आया. I think that share came later, but you know, that was the time when Tarana-e-Milli gets written. You know, Chino Arab Hamara, Hindustan Hamara, Muslim hai, Hum Watan hai, Sara Jahan Hamara. That was a kind of a second phase in Iqbal's work.
And I remember Salim Ahmed, whom I used to meet quite frequently when he was alive, and he was writing the book which he ultimately did on Iqbal, and he used to say, इकबाल के साथ दो मुश्किलें हैं. पहली मुश्किल कि वो हकीमुल उम्मत हैं, और दूसरी मुश्किल कि वो हकीमुल उम्मत हैं.
And Iqbal's idea of literature was that just as we interpret Ishq Majazi into Ishq Haqiqi, that there is love story of Laila Majnun, Heer Ranjha, and in that love can be translated as love for God. Iqbal translated Ishq Haqiqi as love for your nation. So any love poetry, love story in which if that love is translated into love between an individual and Pakistan, that would be a very Iqbal thing.
And then you see the third phase where you find him using symbols from Islamic history or Muslim civilization, but you would also find him taking a larger than, a larger sort of an outlook and a larger take on world affairs. And that is where he wants, Muslims in particular, because that is the people, the community he was coming from, but third world in general, to rise up against oppression and colonialism.
So I've had to dissect my way through the multiple images of Iqbal and come to the real Iqbal. Will the real Iqbal please stand up? That has been my question ever since. And I feel that Iqbal the poet is the essence, the real Iqbal, the major Iqbal, who is rewarding and ultimately fulfilling.